Hello everyone, my name is Elliot Greenwood and today I'm going to present you my vertical slice of the game that I made for my college final assignment. The game genre is bullet hell, but the game itself is based in 3D environment, something that is not quite common. While conducting some research about the games, I noticed that there are quite a little amount of bullet hell games based in 3D environment. Therefore, I decided to come up with this kind of idea, create a basic prototype and let people test it out, gather some feedback and see what they think about this game idea. This simple blockout of the game was quickly created within 2 weeks, and the main goal was to figure out how to set up the character controller, how will the enemies will function, how to set up enemy AI. The core goal was to figure out how will this projectile based combat will function and just how to balance things out, just so the player could have easy yet challenging gameplay. Of course, the most exciting part was to figure out how the boss will function, because that will be the core fun of the game. Overall, I managed to get a very basic system that has multiple states, and at this point it just depends on my own creativity what kind of attack patterns I can come up with and just how to surprise player when hitting the last stage. Gathering feedback is very important, and if you're a shy person, you will struggle. If you take feedback personally, you will struggle as well. Feedback is mainly used to improve the product that you're producing, not to insult you on how terrible your product is at the moment, since it's in development stage. Clearly things will not be as perfect as we tend to expect. There are two methods that you will be able to gather some feedback. One method is by having face-to-face session with someone else, just seeing them how they play, how they react to the game, or you can publish the game on a website like itch.io, create a survey, attach that survey and just ask people online to spare their time and play test your game, answer questions and find most of the issues. Now, of course, going online is a risk because most of the time people will choose to not waste their time, and sometimes, of course, they tend to tell you off. However, I managed to get quite a bit of feedback. Some kind people decided to spare some time and sit down, playtest my prototype, give me some good feedback, and I used this feedback to modify all the inputs, movements and other features, which in my role as a gameplay designer is very important. And of course, I credited all those people who helped me out with my project. While making the game, it is good to have some kind of a reference to use for the game idea and design. Since I gave some to play my game at my college, some people just mentioned that this game looks like Trove, and partially they are right, mainly because this game is inspired by Trove, and specifically it's the character controller. Of course, the visuals can be also added as a inspiration. However, Trove has one thing done wrong. They just have their voxels not consistent, which I don't like. However, the character controller and camera settings are pretty similar, though Unity's free-look Cinemachine camera setup is not perfect. It tends to have very terrible collision detection, but other than that, it's very similar controller. As for the level design, I did not spend too much time on the level of detail, but the core structure is inspired by another game, which is RPG MMO bullet hell game called Realm of the Mad God. This game is probably one of the best examples that fit my game idea. However, this game has its own flaws as well. One reason being that the levels can be just rushed and most of the enemies can be ignored, thus making this level over time quite boring to play. Most of the time people will just play the same thing over and over again and they just rush the boss. I decided to put some kind of objectives that player has to complete to unlock the doors into the boss room. Now of course with more careful level design and more time, the whole level could end up much more fun to play, and it would encourage players to explore around, find some loot, some kind of a secrets, solve some puzzles, and then just hit the boss battle. So it would be more like storytelling level rather than just play the same thing over and over again and just rush to the boss, which would ruin the whole game experience over time and would make the game boring. Something that Realm of the Mad God and Trove did. Now here comes the friendly warning, and enjoy this scene. Interestingly enough, this mini-boss might seem quite easy, but most of the playtesters lost multiple times. Models and assets are made by my own hands, and I was using Magica Voxel Art tool to create all my voxel artwork, and if you want to see how I made that, I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that you can check it out and just see the whole process. You can find a link in the description down below if you're interested in these kind of visuals. And of course, the more skills you have, the better chance you will get obtaining either some kind of a job or being able to work on your own and create your own dream products. But just keep in mind that it will take a lot of time. And this is something that you will have to learn, how to manage your time, and you will have to learn your own skills. Basically, you will have to understand how long it will take for you to complete certain tasks, and just in general, how confident are you within your own skills. I managed to create this solid game within 2 months of the time, so knowing how to create your own assets, how to animate your own assets, how to gather sounds, how to program, how to put things together will definitely make you a very strong and experienced game developer. And it will allow you to build a very good portfolio. If you will be willing to learn new skills every day, work as hard as possible, you will be able to turn this into this. sum up all my points, I just want to say games development is not easy. As a third-year student, all I can say is that if you will put a lot of effort and if you do understand what it is that you want to do, with strong passion and motivation, you can become games developer as well. And just remember the very common phrase that everyone says: making games is not equal playing games. And that's all. So thanks for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the description down below if you want to find out more about my work. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them and I will make sure to answer them in my own experience. Thanks for watching again and have a good day.